Alrighty, welcome back. So many of us enjoy natural resources across the Northwoods, from recreation like fishing, snowmobiling, to industries like logging. Natural resources play a vital tool. Climate change has made the use and preservation of the things we love challenging. So over the summer, guys, I talked to a couple of professionals on what we can do to lessen its effect. Wisconsin Land and Water is just one of many organizations across the area leading the effort to fight climate change.
Our mission is to really create and support those county land and water conservation departments and elected officials through advocating for their needs at the legislatures, providing conservation training.
They recently launched a new program to lead climate change resilience to communicate with local communities and officials about the issue.
Most Wisconsinites are feeling extreme weather impacts. Most of our awareness, as I said, is really helping focused on supporting communities adapt land and to withstand these extreme events.
Whether it's trees in northern Wisconsin or crops in southern Wisconsin, both of these natural resources can play a part to remove greenhouse emissions.
Agriculture can actually be one of our best tools to hold on to those greenhouse gas emissions and store them in the soil and mitigate that impacts that we're feeling.
They're not the only ones working on combating the issue. Stephen Handler is a climate change specialist for the Northern Institute of Applied Climate Science.
Climate change is already impacting forests in Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. For example, the trend toward milder, shorter winters and longer growing seasons has contributed to a variety of impacts.
Some of that includes different species and diseases moving into areas where they're not normally present. This can also affect lake ice.
We're seeing declines in the duration of lake ice each winter. And on the flip side, you are seeing warmer lake temperatures. That leads to things like a higher likelihood of algal blooms and more decomposition.
Forests are an important part of where we live.
Forests are an economic engine in Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. And from my discussions with loggers and other members of the forest industry, we have already seen effects of climate change.
Heavy snow before the ground freezes can cause issues.
When you get a large dump of snow early in the winter before the ground is frozen, well, that's an insulator that actually prevents that soil from freezing as fast. And that's not necessarily a good thing for forestry operations because that ground is still soft under that snow. And in some cases, too unstable.
Trees can help us as we work through this challenge.
Forests are a remarkable tool in our toolbox against this fight of climate change. Forests are natural machines that pull greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere and store them in their wood, in their roots, and ultimately in the soil.
There's still time for us to do our part to lessen the climate change effects.
Well, so much of the story has yet to be written. And that's one of the things that keeps me motivated and keeps me optimistic.
Reporting for Newswatch 12, I'm meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Well, Devin, how did it feel back out in the field reporting for the first time in years?
It's been 3 years at least since I last did a story like that, so it was definitely very cool nonetheless. 3 minutes. So usually when we do a package like that, usually it's supposed to be like a minute and some seconds, and this one was 3 minutes 17 seconds. So when I had Hans Leck, our producer and our couch correspondent, check it yesterday, he was like, but we made it work though, and it's very informative though. I mean, it's definitely some good takeaways though. I mean, thank you Christina and Stephen for the interviews as well. And yeah, last Friday I was not on air because I was shooting some of the video for that story though, and it was raining on me too. So the rain and the wind definitely made it interesting. But yes, I mean, that was the biggest takeaways I want you to take from this story though. Yes, the climate is changing. I know many people get all worked up over the politics. Leave the politics out of it though. I mean, yes, we're seeing things change. So, I mean, really, we're looking at this agriculture. Use agriculture and use trees to kind of help and kind of lessen those greenhouse gases. I mean, you see the crops out in the fields. You see trees. You can plant trees in your yard. Just use nature to use nature though to really kind of help out the situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, trees, especially when they're young, the younger they are, the more oxygen, you know, they produce and the more CO2 they kind of take in. So it's really good to, you know, be planting, kind of helping out forests, especially after you log it as well. Re-helping the forest out like that is always good. Plus, a good forest management is always a good policy to kind of go
And
through.
it's a good policy as well, though. And yeah, I mean, the weather can definitely affect logging. I mean, we've had a lot of snow recently, and sometimes it's even making the ground soggy. I mean, we got a lot of rain in the forecast coming up later this week, and that won't be good for loggers.
Absolutely. With the increasing climate, you always worry about road limits and stuff like that. With the ground freezing or not freezing soon enough, loggers can't be hauling their wood on these county roads sometimes.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes, though, because, I mean, they're always active out in the forest, either getting some of these trees down, and, of course, when you take some trees down, obviously there's more trees that are growing, so it's just the beauty of our forest.